That one's kicking. That's probably be the one that's gonna be the hardest to deal with.
I had a good view of the heart for you, and then she kicked.
Oh snap, y'all!
Amira, she baking.
There we go, Amira.
Easy bake.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. It is showtime.
Man.
Well, when do you want to schedule the C-section?
Hey, look, I got him on speed dial. Literally.
There you go. There's a heart for you.
Put that right
Good
there.
little.
Boom, boom, boom.
There
That
you
thing
go.
is.
Yeah, all those. There's a spine. You got ribs right here. Right through there.
Sheesh.
How many sacks are in there?
I can't.
And then you only do X-ray, but we don't need an X-ray because now we know she's pregnant. So it's just let the magic happen.
Now it is.
You did it. Well, you did it. Good news, and good news, people. This is 3 years of work plus with a few hiccups, aka a part of the business, unfortunately. This is what we was hoping for. I told you guys before, definitely find you a vet so you can get it right. Had we guessed, Ego had a time trying to mount her, so you say, we're going to do it natural. It's like, I ain't got that kind of time on my hands. We hit 17, I think, is when we did a progesterone test. That time it was the perfect timing.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. She'll have one more breeding if everything goes right here, and then we'll shut her down. And I'm only going to do it one more time with her because we lost Lola. Lola's dead. I mean, there's no nice way to put it, man. Anything you want. Guys, Steve here with Pitbully TV. I'm gonna do a couple videos where I walk you through my losses, the opportunities, the gains, the challenges, kennel partners, kennel issues, all this stuff. We're gonna start with the girls. That's not this video. I want Stan to break down what it feels like to be on the other side of success, or feel like what's been the 3 years, what's the last 3 years been like, and even basically getting the breeding done right.
Well, I mean, as you know, I never got into the game for breeding, so it was pretty cool opportunity to be put in the situation. And last year we had a little hiccup with Amira because Rocco just decided he wanted to do what he did. And this way, doing it right with Ego, and especially with everything that's going on with him, it's actually really cool because you got it right. It worked.
And the cool part is just more so what he said. No, the cool part is not the cancer and the other stuff, but like, to be in a position to continue to, I don't want to say live out the dream, but build my idea. That's what's most important here. But go ahead.
Yeah. And on the opposite side of being successful, when I was at Butch's place, we just were kind of spinning our wheels, going through the motions, and then you guys came out, helped improve, tighten up processes, and even more of the last 90 days, we've been actually tightening up everything a lot more. Jamarcus has been helping me, Trev. And these are the kind of people that you need around, because if you're just aimlessly doing stuff, you're not going to be, you have no metric to measure if you're actually doing the right thing. So,
what's been your plan, man? Part of my job as we continue to build these things with, Stan and Tadlock and these people is slowing them down some, because there's nothing for me to sell at this point. All them Ego puppies, they're gone. Believe me, there's not one puppy who ain't sold and who ain't gonna be. The niggas gonna be trying to find where I live to get these dogs. And that's not a good thing. I don't want that trouble, but that's the truth. But talk about some of the challenges you've dealt with getting to this point too, because you brought a Butch, for instance. There's been no plan in any part of your plan, which is why the first day I met Stan, I said, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Yeah, my plan was to have a dog that didn't get hit by a car. And I accomplished that very quickly. And I just didn't know what to do next, because again, when I first got into the dog world, there was no structure, there was no plan. I just was going out working the dogs. I had the dog in front of me. The dog's supposed to do this in 2 to 3 weeks, and that's what we did. I didn't know about the business side of things. I didn't know about the opportunities that there could be, from the pet insurance to online pharmacies to all of this stuff. So, being put into a situation where now your eyes are open, it's like,
Let me ask you an honest question too, and as always, be honest. Does this feel deserving?
Yes, because of all of the work that I put in and didn't get anything out of it, being fucked over by several people because I didn't have a plan, didn't know how to speak up, didn't know how to ask the right questions, and just assumed that people were actually meant well for me. So yes, this does feel very deserving, because again, like you always say, I can put in the work. I'll put in the work. 365 for the next 20 years.
Yeah, how long it takes, and that part is a very important question to ask too, believe it or not, people. You do a lot of people do a lot of work, And, sometimes it feels deserving. I know in Stan's case, when he took the dog to Florida, Butch kept the money, correct?
No, he kept the money on the other puppies, but he tried to get Dan's mom to send him the money on the pup that I brought out to Florida.
And the point is this. Here's the thing. You know what asset management is if you don't. I gave Stan an asset that I bought. So that's that Amira's, I think she's $3,500. And I said, take care of this dog, and I'll pay you in the future. That's really what you guys should be. That's an investment, right? So when you look at investments, a lot of times you buy low. Investment, it appreciates over said time, and then one day it pays off. In this case, Stan's taking care of Amira for about 3 years. As we said, there was a hiccup, and believe me, there were many missteps. And steps that him and I will go over as we move forward through everything we're building. But then when you fast forward and you take a look at where you're at today, there are minimal steps that are being missed because he's potentially starting to get it. And what that means is, hey, I told him, you do this, you get that. I show and share with them everything. They'll see all the numbers. There's no hidden fees, no hidden stuff. A good portion of the upfront costs come out of my pocket. But the dogs for me are way more valuable. I'm like, yo, I give you the money because I know how to get that back off a dog. And I do mean content-wise. So for me, especially was kind of where we're at, which ain't a good thing, but you go, that's the story I get to tell next. I was like, oh, it's over. It's over. But I do want you guys to be mindful of who you get involved with kennel partner wise, who you're working with, who you're breeding with, who you're learning with too. A lot of times we learn a lot of bad lessons, especially if you're a good person. Oftentimes you learn a lot of fucked up lessons. And it's an unfortunate system of events that takes place. And then, you kind of become callous and a little bit cold, especially if you've been misappropriated, used, abused, etc. over a set amount of time. What would be your best advice to those people who are thinking about getting into the breeding or dog space in general?
Don't.
Yeah, no, that's the truth.
But like you said, getting into a place where you have somebody who's actually wanting you to go the right way is very important. And if you are going to be getting into the dog breeding space, do your research and don't just do it to make money. Because if that's the case, we were in Vegas and the guy showed us $92,000 on an invoice, and that didn't have nothing to do with the dogs. That was just supplies to take care of the dogs. That doesn't include the stud fees, that doesn't include food, all of that. That was just supplies. So it is not a very lucrative market unless you have multiple dogs and you have the facilities and you can just
even the multiple dogs become what you call they tap into your losses, because just like you just heard Tadlock tell a story about a French bulldog. You could blink. I mean, if something really went wrong with Amira in the first year and I put it in Stan, and she was in Stan's hands, and let's say the puppy got stuck in her canal, could have died. That would have blew my whole plan up. And so far, which is why I'm going to do another video, quite a few plans have already blown up. I've got an idea. This was the plan. The plan got blown up because there's so many things that we can't control in this life. So I am glad to be here only because there's so much more to do. And now, instead of the 1.5, maybe 2 breedings Amira's going to do, she's got to do 2. She's got to do another breeding just for the sake of what if. What if meaning I need a backup plan to back up the backup plan. This is why I kept Lola and Cha-Cha out of the litter. When I say kept, I was like, ooh, let me put Lola close. I'll tell them this is what I think should happen. And if it works out, she'll be the best dog. Guess what? She was the best looking dog. But she's dead now. And Cha-Cha, good. She don't look like her mama. You go, that's why I kept her, because you want to build uniqueness into the program and tap into some of those genes that Lola was missing, because she took on all those orange genes. You go, boom, I got a good mixture of Balu and Cha-Cha, and still Cha-Cha wasn't supposed to be bred for another 2 years, or a year and some change. Now, she liable to get bred for the sake of what if, because worst case scenario, we're talking about a niece. I have to write it down, but I know what happens. I know what happens when you tie it all together. And that'll be where the magic has. Anything else you want to leave them with? Because again, there's going to be podcasts and some very in-depth questions I ask him pertaining to this place right here.
I think it's kind of necessary to go through the fucked up situations, because it does teach you to open your eyes and not trust everybody. And like you said, do your due diligence.
The better question is, why was your eyes closed?
I just was blindly believing.
I don't think you should have to go through fucked up things. People, if ever you've been around rich, wealthy white people, we're very clear. Their lives aren't rooted in making a bunch of fucking mistakes. There's that one kid who does. But when you see good things, you beget good things.
Yeah.
And we're accustomed to doing stupid shit because stupid shit seems to be around us. And you think, well, it took all that for you to get here. It's like, my job is to steer you away from all that fuckery.
I mean, but it's like, even with Butch, he seemed and said everything right. But he had...
He ain't saying that right when I met him. I don't know what you're talking about. He sounded like an idiot to me. I ain't like nothing he said. I can't remember nothing he said. I'm like, oh, there's no business here. It's a waste of time. That's why I don't know what he talking about.
I mean, and looking back, of course, yes, he didn't have a business and everything, but he was a used car salesman and he said all the right things because I didn't have any experience. I wasn't raised with dogs. I didn't grow up around them. I was literally...
Stan's experience, your experience also has been rooted in seeing the good in people and there's no good in them.
That is true.
So you know, when you say used cars, see, anybody can say anything if you want to believe it. Yeah. I'm like this. Who told you that? Can you prove that? Oh, that don't make no sense. And because of my inquisition, that's even why we keep getting the root, because I ask the right questions. Because I'm not going, hey, you should do all this stuff. I'm like, no, I shouldn't. I don't know that what I'm doing is not working yet. If it's not working, then trust me, I will figure out how to figure some shit out. But so far, it's working. And it's because people like Stan and Jamarcus keep showing up and doing the work. Let me be very clear in saying that. But there's so much more work to do. And even more importantly, so much more to you know, areas in which we all have to grow. So guys, stay tuned. Keep taking care of your dogs. For all those that have been wanting to see a new process or touch back up on your puppy process.
Good hands, good hands.
And even more importantly, have been on that waiting list or dying for an Ego and Amira pup. Hopefully everybody's alive still. Well, it looks like we're 20, maybe 20 days out, and then I start losing sleep.
27
I go back to living in hell, not you guys. So stay tuned, take care of your dogs. We're gonna have some fun with this, and I can guarantee you that.